Hi there, back with another video review, and today I will be revisiting, or some would say re-reviewing this model. So what we have right in front of us is the Bugatti Veyron L'EDITION CENTENAIRE made by AUTOart. So the reason for me doing this re-review is because I missed out on highlighting a key feature of this model, and thanks to a fellow friend and fellow YouTuber, Imperial Diecast, for highlighting that to me. So what I missed out on my earlier review of this model was the removal of the engine cover, which is this part right here. So I'm just going to start it off like that. So you can actually just lift it up, and it's that easy. The last time I didn't notice about this because my dad had already sort of installed this part right here. When it came in the packaging, it was actually separated. So it's very easy to install. All you have to do is just slide it over at the top, and it just falls into place very nicely right there. But of course, if you're tilting the model or you're flipping it over, for some reason, just be sure to hold on to this part right here, because there are no screws or magnet to hold this in place. Anyway, I'm just gonna put it to the side. Obviously, since this is a re-review, I'm going to review the model again, just for your sake. If any of you are interested to listen about this model. So yeah, just following up from Imperial Diecast comment on my earlier review of this model, he did mention that this thing is now going for half the price from when it was initially released. So my guess is that there are certain things, for example, this the glossy part right here. If you have the time to look at my earlier review of this model, when this model was brand new, this aluminium feature right here on the door, as well as the side of the front part, it was very shiny and glossy, and obviously I could actually try and polish the body here, but I am a bit worried of damaging the or even causing any scratches. So that's why before I did this review, I didn't want to do any polishing whatsoever. Anyway, just enough blabbering, and bringing this model closer to show you guys how it looks like up close. So we've got the fuel cap, which is nicely labeled right there. So enough of the side, and let's move on to the front. So right in front, AUTOart are really one of the best 1/18 scale die-cast model manufacturers in the world, and the reason for that is, just take a look at the front grills. They've got all the details captured very nicely, and not only that, even with the grills, it actually has holes to it, so it goes through. Even for this sort of tiny holes, they can actually make it go through. So that is a brilliant detailed work by AUTOart. And then just taking a closer look at the headlamp. So some very nice details inside. And then let's just move on to the other side. So on this side, you also get the fuel cap. So there are two fuel caps on each side. And I think I missed this one out in the other side. So you do also get grills right over there for the intake. And similar to the front grills, there are actually holes to this. So that's very nice. And then moving along to the back. So as we've mentioned earlier, you can remove the engine cover. So I'm just going to show you guys the Bugatti badge right there. Yeah, I have to block my fluorescent light to show you guys the effect. So this is actually a separate part for the Bugatti logo that's mounted very nicely onto the back. And then similarly with the grills right on either side, these also have holes to it. And then just taking a closer look at the tail lamp. Very nice details. And well, there is a cool feature on this model, and that's the spoiler. Okay, so what you have to do is right underneath you will see a button right over here in the center. Okay, so all you have to do is just push it and it will deploy the spoiler. So that's very cool. And then you know, as you can see, there are some nice hinges over here, and it's actually functional, so you can actually raise this up just like that. Well, probably I'll just put it at a side angle. So yeah, just to show you guys again, you can actually have them display like this or raised up high like that. And to place it back in, all you have to do is just simply push both sides down until you hear a click, just like that. So very cool, eh? Yeah, and since we're at the back, I'm going to remove the engine cover one more time, just to show you guys how the engine looks like. So it's definitely very, very nicely detailed by AUTOart. And I'm gonna put the engine cover back in. So nice and slow. There we go. And now let's focus on the wheels. So the wheels do spin and spin very nicely. And yeah, with the brake disc inside, well, unfortunately with the lighting in my room is not that bright. Yeah, probably you can actually see it on this angle. Yeah, so you know, the brake disc actually moves along with the wheels. So that's very nice, and it goes through the brake calipers as well. So it's the same thing with the front wheel, and you can turn the front wheel left and right. Okay then, so now let's move on to the opening features. So you can open the front hood. Well, the strut lines on this model are done very nicely, so it may be a bit difficult to open this part right there if you have very short fingernails. And yeah, I mean, just showing you guys again as I open this up, as you can see, the hinges are just like what you'd get on the real car. So you know, AUTOart, you know, the details, you can't go wrong with the details with an AUTOart model. So let's take a look inside. So yeah, it's pretty dark right there, but it actually comes with some very nice velvet carpeting material, so giving it that soft, realistic touch. And then the other opening feature is the doors. So yeah, you know, as I was mentioning, it's a bit, well, I wouldn't say fragile, but it can actually get out of place if you don't hold it properly. So let's take a look at the interior. So inside, the details are really nice. I mean, you've got all the dials in there. And I mean, with this AUTOart model, you do get door windows as well. So let's check out the interior from another angle. So well, similar to the front hood, you know, right inside you also get velvet carpeting material for the footrest. And yeah, since I've already showed you guys the you know, the opening of the trunk or the engine cover, we're just gonna go straight to the base. And here is the top profile. Well then, overall, you know, just re-reviewing this model again, it's definitely a, well, I would say a classic. I mean, it's something that, how should I put it? It's the kind of model or the design that transcends time. I mean, it doesn't look very old. It just suits every decade that it appears in. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but yeah, yeah. Overall, I am really impressed with the work done by AUTOart on this Bugatti Veyron L'EDITION CENTENAIRE. And as mentioned earlier, now that the price is half the price of its initial release, I think, you know, you definitely have to get this model. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching.